Hey everybody, and welcome back. So it's time for another custom figure review, and this time I have something special for you. I did sell off the vest because I don't keep the vests because I pose them in actual wrestling matches and whatnot. But it's not one but two. It is Ultimate Demolition Axe and Smash. Now you can't see it, but definitely the torso is not, you can see there's definitely a little bit of sagginess to the trunks, to the body type. Obviously they don't make bigger Ultimate style bodies yet. Hopefully eventually we get more of a bulkier body build, but you can't really notice it. I mean, maybe from this one a little bit you can probably notice it, obviously, but further back you couldn't tell the difference. And these guys definitely were a little bit in shape. They also were very bulky and big. So Customizer did this just basically, he figured out how to swap the torso. He took obviously the Mattel Legends Series 4, I think it was, Axe and Demolition, which in itself, that's pretty expensive. Those guys by themselves go for, 100 plus sometimes. But really good job. Obviously the it looks like he switched the arms on this one to get his tattoo. This one he's kind of used the standard arms that came with an Ultimate. You can see the difference in the style there. Obviously the older style, the newer double jointed style. And of course they use the heads from the original as well. So really good job. Like I said, up close you can notice it, but you can see obviously they're a little fasting here a little bit, but off in the distance you can't tell. So it does work for what it is, and it's likely two guys we will never, if we get them ever on the license again, I just don't see them getting Ultimates. Of course, butterfly joints. It's not glued in there, so it does move around a little bit. You can move that thing around, which is fine because it wasn't glued in, to my knowledge anyway. I mean, and you can see it's obviously a little more looser on both of them because it's not that wider build body. But for what we got, for the parts we've got right now, it's the best we can do. So we'll start with Axe, of course. Axe, of course, would leave the group first when they decided to bring in Crush. He did have a Crush at one time, but I missed the chance on that one. I didn't find this seller until near the end, and I haven't heard from him since. I think his heart surgery was last Thursday, so hopefully he's getting doing good and making a recovery. We still had a few more partnerships ideas like Barry Windham and a couple other ones that would make sense. But again, fully custom, posable, playable. He said these things are sealed on there. He put a lot of pressure into reattaching. Once he puts the glue in there, he holds it there the longest time. It still swivels. There's still swivel to it. So if you get a chance, if he gets back up and whatnot, he'll probably be doing more of this stuff. Said he bought tons and tons of these just standard Ultimate bodies, and just started Dr. Frankensteining, basically cutting them apart, figuring out how to open them safely. Now he's part of his deal, part of his craft is he basically upgrades elites into Ultimates if that's what you desire. And I do, because I like the articulation, the posability. Because again, the Ultimates, it's a cool line, but it's so few and far between, and half the time it's just another copy of somebody else. So it's I like to have a roster variety. So there's Axe, Smash, kind of the same thing. Again, like I said, they switched the arm, so he doesn't have the double joint, but he does have his tattoo. So he doesn't paint him, he doesn't do any tattoo work or anything like that. He literally just torso swaps. So it leaves obviously a limited run because unlike Moose from last, where it's custom painted and tattoos applied, he just knows how to change the top articulation to the bottom articulation. And since I don't care about drop down hips, it doesn't bother me at all. If you care about drop down hips, this is probably not for you then. But then again, if that's the case, you probably won't buy customs to begin with because all old elites don't have drop down hips. So still really good though. Like I say, keeps the tattoo, keeps the original arms. While I do wish maybe he had swapped it, and I could do it myself, because I know he had more of an arm band up to here, not just here, but it's really a nitpick kind of thing. I'm not too worried about that. But that was Demolition. Again, until they decide to re-sign with WWE. Even if they do, I don't see them ever getting Ultimates. I see them maybe getting, obviously the new Elite style, but I just don't see. I see very few tag teams, I think, getting that Ultimate treatment. You got the Usos. We know the Hart Foundation's coming. There's, people speculating, hey, maybe make the New Age Outlaws or something. I don't know. I don't know who they, supposedly the Steiners are possibly in the works. I'm still hoping for an Ultimate Scott Steiner WCW look more than just a 90s, WF tag team run. But that's just my preference. I didn't grow up with Steiner in the 90s. I grew up with Steiner in the late 90s. Fighting Goldberg and stuff like that. I didn't grow up with the tag team fighting the Head Shrinkers. But show him one last time, just in case. Again, you can probably find that, he'll probably, once he gets better, he'll probably be back making these again. Wasn't the cheapest variety. Definitely cost a little bit more, but I had the Elites, and I still have them up for Macari. So these are my Ultimates now. They're in the Ultimate section, and they look good. So, till next time.